What's happening, y'all? It's me, the resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington. I'm back. I'm here with my review for the Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special. If you haven't seen this yet, I encourage you to come on back because there will be spoilers. Thank y'all, man, for everybody that's still been tuned into the channel. For the little bitty things I put up here and there, we're getting more back into regular TV and film season of the things that I talk about a lot. So I'll be having way more content up on here on top of all the other shit I'm doing. So I'm appreciative for y'all. Thank you for everybody who sends a lot of love all other places, man. It's truly appreciated. Words can't fully express it. I know that sounds cliche, but if I tried to fully express how grateful and thankful I am for all of y'all, I'll be talking to this bitch longer than the review itself. So let's get into it. First and foremost, man, I am a big fan of Harley Quinn. I did not do a review this season. Did I do this past season? I don't think I did. But I know I didn't do some of the other stuff. A lot of things have changed, and you all know why. Won't get into all that. But, man, when I saw this, I was like, yo, I got to talk about this after I watch it. Shouts out to Patrick Shoemaker and Justin Halpern, man, the two of the showrunners on that, who kept this show the way it is. You know, we know and heard of all the changes with HBO Max and DC, et cetera, et cetera. And so for this show to be still what it is, it lived up to it with this. We knew the thing was going to be about them, you know, Harley and Ivy spending Valentine's Day together. And for it to kick off with seeing Superman and Lois in what looks like couples therapy, which sets the bar for a lot of shit we see throughout it. Because, as always, I won't go beat by beat, but we see so many couples throughout this. We see King Shark and his new wife with them doing the ghost-like pottery, but the clay is Clayface. Selena sending Bruce chocolates in jail that are bad chocolates. We see Joker and his wife sitting on the couch watching TV. Kite Man and Golden Glider. Hawkman and Hawkgirl, which was so dope, where if you didn't pay attention, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't unless you check through the credits, Hawkman was voiced by Tyler James Williams. Hawkgirl was voiced by Quinta Brunson. What makes that so spectacular, if you will? It's an Abbott Elementary re-team up, because Patrick and Justin are two of the executive producers and showrunners of Abbott Elementary, where they are two of the main characters on the show. So it was dope to see that. You got Aquaman and Mara. I don't know who Darkseid was with. I couldn't completely tell, so please forgive me. I was doing like 70 different things, so let me know in the comments about that. But seeing all these different relationships and telling them how they were together, and, you know, a lot of them sounded like they're happy. A lot of them sound like one person is happy. A lot of them sounded like they aren't on the same page. It was dope, and that was the running theme of it. Like, Harley was so excited about Valentine's Day. This is her first Valentine's Day with Ivy, right? It's the first Valentine's Day they want to spend together. And Ivy is just like, yo, we'll go out to eat, go to Mama Macaroni, come home, watch TV, have sex, and be done. And Harley wants to do this elaborate thing, so they go out to eat. Harley sets up this fucking big-ass display of a waiter getting shot in the skull, getting murdered, just to have the CEO of Luxor Oil, getting murdered. Harley had to have Ivy murder him by a helicopter. I forgot to include another couple. The Riddler proposes the Clock King as well. So all of pretty much the couples we've been established in this show we've seen, right? And so Harley does all that to make Ivy happy. But even once she goes even one step further, because Ivy doesn't seem fully receptive about all the shit Harley has done. So Ivy tricks Diana into going back to Themyscira, so she can still, when she tricks her, she dresses as one of the Amazonians, goes to Diana's door as Diana, tricks her into becoming Wonder Woman so she can steal the lasso of truth, puts the lasso on Ivy, says, yo, is this the best Valentine's you had? And Ivy was like, it's about the third, but you up there. And it hurts Harley's heart. And she's just trying to figure out what can she do to make it the best. And she's like, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll just enhance her love and all this other shit, and I'll make her have the greatest orgasm. So she goes to Etrigan's occult shop, which, if you're not familiar with the demon Etrigan, he is a demon that you see throughout Justice League Dark and many other Young Justice and all these things. And his story is kind of dope because it's him and Jason Blood, and there's an incantation to make him arise and become who he is. But him running the cult and him always speaking in rhymes, and everything he's telling Harley is in rhymes. And Harley gets to the point, she's like, yo, bro, when you keep rhyming with this shit, it sounds hella creepy. Like, I know what you mean. But he gives her an incantation that turns her into this super ass love machine, right? So he's like, yo, the next person you bed, you're gonna give them all this type of pleasure. So Harley sleeps with Ivy and goes down. Shouts out to the animation because we see them get naked, but the animation, of course, shows flowers where it covers up breast and genitals and stuff like that. Even showing Harley going down, and I think a lot of us was like, "About fucking time," because I felt like we would have been seeing that on this show. Like we knew they'd had sex, we'd seen them in the bed and things like that. And it's like certain things you expect to see. Like I don't know if we'll ever see Bruce Wayne actually have sex. Will it always imply? But like it was always kind of that we was gonna see Harley and Ivy get it on. And everybody was like, yes, do it. Take that greenness down. But whatever. So Harley and Ivy get into it, and Harley gives Ivy the biggest orgasm she's ever had where her pheromones spread out into the air into Gotham, and it causes everybody to become super fucking horny. Now, I want to take y'all back. If you watched an episode of Doom Patrol, the Sex Patrol, when Flex Mentala was brought in and all these people were just fucking out of nowhere and the sex ghost, that's where we were on the level of that, the animation. But here's another thing that happened. So Clayface, he don't have nobody. He out here swiping, thinking he finna hook up with a dude named, I think it was Jerry or some shit, come from Hoboken, New Jersey. Jerry is catfishing him as Jason Momoa, and Ivy's like, yo, that's not dude. I'm telling you right now. So he think he finna find love in the alley, and dude is actually Captain Boomerang, who sets him up, cuts him in half, and so he thinks he's dying. And of course, Clayface is theatrical, and he's an actor, and he just, hey, I'm slain, and then all of a sudden his bottom half becomes sentient, and it gets its own face. So his ass has a face, the face has a face, and these motherfuckers fall in love. Right? He's like, what is your sexuality? And it's like, I'm fluid. And like, yeah. But the problem is they can't kiss or touch because if they do, they'll recombine into one Clayface. There's another thing that happens. Bane is by himself. So they're at the Legion of Doom headquarters. Riddler's getting ready to set up some date where they go to a wine and paint thing, him and Clock King. And Bane is like, oh, is there room for one more to go to the paint and sip? And Riddler's like, no. And so Bane is just hurt. I don't like Valentine's Day. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. As somebody who is single and is lonely on Valentine's Day, I felt Bane's pain completely, right? So we get Bane just moping, walking through Gotham. And at one point, because of him having his outfit on, he runs into a woman who's a dominatrix named Betty. And she's like, I guess he was supposed to be somebody else. But Betty's like, okay, cool, let's do all this now. When you punch me, slap me, or torture my anus, will it feel in the morning? And he says, it is going to be very painful for you. He did a line from The Dark Knight Rises. Again, shouts out to the writers. Shouts out to James Adomian, whose Bane is the best. Because when certain things happen. So after all this torture and everything they do on this dude, Betty and Bane, at one point, the dude has Betty call his penis little. Tell me I got this short dick. And Bane is like, but is it a normal size penis? What is wrong with his penis? Like, is it small? Is it small? It is not about the size. And you find out, you're like, oh shit, Bane got a baby dick. But, so Betty getting horny, like, yo, it's still Valentine's Day. Won't you come to the crib? Let's get it on. Bane like, okay, you take a cab. I'll meet you at your house. You find out Bane got a little dick. So Bane ends up at Etrigan's store for a potion as well. And he's trying to explain it to Etrigan. And Etrigan is really like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to close. Bane is like, it's an average size penis, but my body is so big, so it doesn't look. And I'm like, yo. So then, of course, Etrigan gives him the potion and everything. So Bane is like, yo, I'm finna get ready to go do this. He takes the potion and reads it and tells him it's gonna make him hard like a redwood trunk. Now, he takes the whole thing. But what he didn't read was at the very bottom, which says, do not take if you on HGH. And he was like, ain't that a bitch? And Bane blows up to the size of a fucking kaiju, a gigantic monster. But he's not just a regular monster. He is naked as Bane, gigantic as fuck, and horny as shit. And his dick is out everywhere. Bane is terrorizing Gotham fucking buildings. Bane skeeted on the 4th floor of the stock exchange. He was fucking everything. Also, there's a running gag that I saw in the beginning. You see that Brett Goldstein, Emmy Award-winning Brett Goldstein, is holding a one-man show where he's reading and wiping his Emmy down. So all this is about Clayface wanting to take somebody to the thing. He thought he was going to take the Jerry dude who turned out to be Boomerang. Then he tries to take himself to the thing, and himself is like, I'm not going to this. And so he's trying to scalp his tickets. But Bane, in the midst of like, because he can't go fuck old girl, he's like, my libido is out of control. Bane is fucking everything. And while Bane is out here fucking everything, Harley and Ivy trying to figure out what's going on. Everybody fucking everywhere around, like everywhere. There's a dude giving a woman the head in the backseat of the car. He outside, they're in the middle of the street. There's people in the window fucking. Everybody's everywhere just having sex. And like, some people were like, why would they call this a very problematic episode? I mean, to the average person who's never seen Harley Quinn, I can see them saying, oh, this is so problematic. Why would they have this and do that? And then the average person who watches Harley Quinn, like myself and y'all and many others, will be like, shut the fuck up. This is what this show does. Stop it. This show has pushed the boundaries and gone above and beyond. This is the one time where everything can be about just straight fucking and horniness in a show that has teased fucking and horniness to an extent. You know what I'm saying? So all of this happens. So we get a little bit of a tidbit as to what turns Bane off earlier in the episode when he's talking to Riddler, when he's trying to, you know, go and tag along with Riddler and Clock King. He says, I tried to swipe right on everyone, but the grammar is terrible. People add the word anyways. It's not anyway. He gets mad at all type of shit. And so you find this out that Harley and Ivy try to figure out, how do we stop Bane, a gigantic, steroided up, horny, super pheromone, just high sex drive dude fucking everything. How do you turn him off? And it's like, well, look at his dating profile. And they found out his turn-offs. But it's like, how do we tell him we're too small? It won't matter. So at one point, they get Clayface, after all this shit has happened, to transform into a giant Brett Goldstein. Act like he's starting to flirt a little bit with Bane, because Bane is like, I'm going to fuck you. Which, again, one of the things about this, for a lot of people, we knew the relationship with Harley and Ivy. Everybody's wanted to see that. It had been fan fiction, it had been teased, and then when it was developed and it was started made happen, and it made happen, and we've seen it, right? Other characters, you kind of hinted at where their sexuality could go because of how the characters are. And for Clayface to go full, and Clayface, you kind of figured it. Bane was the shock to me. Because Bane, I always thought Bane would just try to, like, I can't fuck a woman, I'd break her. I don't know why every time I got to say Bane, I just got to do the voice. But I felt like that would be Bane. But to find out, he just gonna fuck anything. And he wanted to fuck, it was one point, what did he say? He said, Brett Goldstein, you deserve someone who makes you feel like you've been fucked by lightning. What? Who is trying to fuck somebody like they've been struck by lightning? I mean, I know you want somebody to feel the electricity in their body. Oh, by the way, I'm going to tell y'all, if you forgot, there's a part when he's describing his dick to Etrigan before Etrigan's like, I don't care. He's like, do you have a baby, that little small penis? He's like, no, it's like the size of my body. It's like if you had Kawhi Leonard's hands on Andre the Giant's body. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's so much that they do through this. But nonetheless, Clayface turns into a giant Brett Goldstein, and he starts using things like anyways, everything is Bane's turn-offs. And it kind of gets him to calm down. He's turned off. But he's still gigantic at the moment, right? This is how to cause so much fucking destruction in the city. But then he decides to go home, and Bane has a whole semi-truck, trailer all, hanging off his dick. He been sticking his dick in everything. And basically it just ends with Harley and Ivy, talking about how the burning buildings and everything make a beautiful sky and all of that for them for the evening. And that's really it. And we see them finally in the therapy chair. They're like, so what's the point of this? And they're like, well, I guess you just got to drag these out and have more time. It's like, well, how do we end this? Should we just say bye or whatever? They're like, no, just say Happy Valentine's Day, and just ends it. And again, with so much little stuff that happened, again, Bane being single, Ivy going crazy over a meal and that's the reason she Mama Macaroni, going crazy over the meal because it's her favorite foods put together. Harley setting all this stuff up to end up murdering a nigga who steals the recipe. All of these little things is everything the Harley Quinn series has given us and we've loved, and it just amps it up even more for this special time of year for many people. Again, my hats go off to all of Kaylee Cuoco, Lake Bell, Alan Tudyk, again, Patrick Shoemaker, Justin Halpern, everybody involved with this, the animation team, the storyboard artists, the writers, all this, because this was one of the best episodes of this whole thing that we've gotten over the past 3 seasons. And if this is indicative of what we're getting in season 4, I'm even more excited than I already was. But I say all that to say, I want to know what you think down in the comments below. As always, we are talking about comic book movies and TV shows. Keep this shit simple. It is not worth getting all in your feelings about, all right? But while you're at it, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel right here. Click on the notification bell if you find out when I'm dropping new videos, dropping shorts as well, so you get both of those. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Check out the Mad Titan podcast with me and my host, BC. Get you caught up on all the things happening in Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. It is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. Come on in the convo and check out the BBC Club podcast, the Black Boy Content Club podcast with myself, Chris Burns, and Moses Prim over on the Prim's Hood Cinema YouTube channel if you want to watch us visually, and or if you want to listen to us, we're everywhere we get your podcast from. We are 3 brothers talking about movies, TV, all type of shit in the content world. We are the #1 podcast for uncles who still wear S curls and British Knights, so you should be a part of the audience too, all right? Holla at y'all later. Till then, I'm out. Goodbye.